if I was going to be an entrepreneur, or rather a student entrepreneur, I think what I'd be thinking about was, first of all, how is it going to affect my degree? And it's a serious consideration. If you're going to be spending 40k or whatever, or worse still, your parents are going to be spending 40k, then it's a serious consideration that you basically need the piece of paper at the end of it. Because entrepreneurship is quite a funny category. It's almost self-defining. But in other words, you can describe yourself as an entrepreneur because you think you found a different way to work in the morning, or you can describe yourself as an entrepreneur because you just founded a multi-million-pound business, and you've got to encompass all those categories. And there's also a problem with entrepreneurship in general, which is that there are quite a few people that want to know about entrepreneurship but don't actually want to be entrepreneurs. And covering that breadth of people, so there's some that just want to understand how it works, some that kind of want to be on the sidelines and are quite interested and might do a bit, and then there's the real out-and-out entrepreneurs who just want to get on to the next idea because they're doing it. And I think the Entrepreneur Society actually accommodates that pretty well. I was quite impressed by the fact that there was a big spread of people who, some of whom would automatically put their hands up, and quite a few people that would never put their hands up, but they were still there, so they were still actually taking part. So that was I think quite healthy. Most successful entrepreneurs are actually successful failures. They're actually the people that fail repeatedly, and persuading people to fail repeatedly is also a good thing about having other people around you, which is that you see other people who've failed repeatedly, basically, and the good thing is that they learn from it, but they're not discouraged. And that's also another thing about having other people around you who have an entrepreneurial mindset, which is that they think, okay, on to the next one. And that's really what you need to do. Whereas if you're by yourself, or if you're with people that don't have quite the same attitude, then it's really hard when they're, well, it failed, we knew it would fail, actually we didn't think it was a very good idea in the first place, and please don't do it again because you're wasting your time. And that's very dangerous. So having other people around you that are actually positive is really seriously valuable. And actually the Entrepreneur Society does it pretty well. A transition that I think we're all going through at the moment, which is realising how significant having an entrepreneurial experience in the proper sense of being enterprising is. And that's also a tough one, because if you're in a business, then what you really need is, when you ask somebody to do something, is not to everybody looks down, but somebody puts their hands up, and they don't have to put their hand up and say, I'll do it, but they put their hand up and say, how can we do it? And they're positive rather than negative. And in the sense of being a manager, that is so important. It is beyond jewels, because the people that say, how are we going to get this done, are so much easier to work with. Succeeding is important, but actually understanding the nature of failure is also important as well, which is that actually most successful entrepreneurs have failed at least once, some several times, some many times. And it's not about failure, it's about how you react to it and also whether you learn from it. And if you can do that in a safe environment, then that's hugely valuable. I mean, once again, you start to become distinctively better than the other people around you. And just out of income considerations, that's important. As a life skill, it's important. As being a decent human being, that's important, because they all count. And so, yeah, if I was a student, then you should be doing it.